the day I fought alongside humans and witnessed true terror. The alien observer arrived above the distant planet in complete silence. Their small observation craft floated beyond detection range, hidden among drifting space dust and broken rock. From there, the alien watched the blue and brown world below, a planet scarred by endless storms and deep cracks across its surface. It was not a beautiful place, but it was alive. This planet was home to humans. The alien species had studied many civilizations before. They had watched worlds rise and fall, cultures grow and disappear. Humans, however, were a strange case. They were young on the cosmic scale. Their technology was uneven. Their emotions were strong and often illogical. Many advanced species believed humans would not last long in the wider universe. The alien observer believed the same. This mission was simple: observe human behavior during a high-risk situation. The planet below was unstable, and unknown entities had been detected in its deeper regions. The alien was not here to interfere, only to watch, record, and learn. At least that was the plan. Below, on the planet's surface, a human outpost rested between sharp rock formations. Metal structures clung to the ground as if holding on against the planet's harsh winds. The humans moved around the base in small groups, checking equipment, talking, and preparing for something unseen. The alien focused their sensors. Human voices filled the air, uneven, emotional, sometimes loud, sometimes quiet. The alien analyzed their movements. Humans walked with confidence but also caution. They laughed in short moments, even though danger surrounded them. This behavior confused the alien. Why laugh when risk was near? The alien recorded data and made notes. Humans used outdated machines compared to galactic standards. Their armor was thin. Their shields were weak. Their survival odds, based on calculation alone, were low. Yet the humans did not act like beings expecting failure. One human stood apart from the others, looking toward the dark valley beyond the outpost. The alien zoomed in. This human was young, with tired eyes but a steady posture, a leader perhaps. The human spoke calmly to others, giving instructions. The group listened. The alien noted this behavior with interest. Humans trusted each other deeply, even without perfect information. As the sun lowered, the sky turned a deep orange. Long shadows stretched across the valley floor. The alien sensors picked up faint disturbances far below the surface, movement that did not match any known life pattern. Something was there. The alien felt a rare moment of unease. They had seen many dangerous beings before, but this presence was different. It did not feel alive in the normal sense. It felt heavy, watching, waiting. The humans noticed changes too. An alarm sounded through the outpost, not loud but firm. Humans moved quickly but not in panic. They took positions along the outer edge of the base. Small light towers activated, pushing back the darkness. The alien expected fear. Instead, they saw focus. Humans checked on one another. One handed a tool to another. A brief touch on the shoulder, a nod. These small actions seemed meaningless to the alien species, but something about them felt important. The ground trembled slightly. The alien sensors spiked. The disturbance below the surface was growing stronger. Shapes began to form in the valley, dark outlines against the fading light. They did not reflect light. They seemed to absorb it. The alien had no name for these entities. The humans saw them now. A moment of silence spread across the outpost. No one spoke. No one ran. Then the human leader raised a hand. "Hold positions," the human said calmly. The alien expected chaos. Instead, humans adjusted their stance, activated small devices, and waited. The dark shapes moved slowly at first, like thick shadows sliding across the ground. The alien analyzed them rapidly. These entities did not behave like animals or machines. They moved with purpose but not emotion. They were large, far larger than a human, and their forms shifted as they advanced. The aliens' calculations showed one clear result. Humans should retreat, but they did not. The first shadow reached the edge of the light field, the lights flickered. The human-made barrier held barely. The shadow paused as if testing it. The alien watched closely. Humans did not attack immediately. They observed. They adjusted power levels. They communicated quietly. The alien found this strange. Most species reacted with immediate force or immediate escape. Humans did neither. One human stepped forward, placing a small device on the ground. The device released a steady pulse of light and sound. The shadow recoiled slightly. The alien sensors registered a reaction. Interesting. The humans had found something that affected the entities. The alien recorded this quickly. Human technology was simple, but their creativity was impressive. They experimented even under pressure. The shadow moved again, pushing against the light barrier. The ground shook. Dust rose into the air. Still, the humans held their ground. The alien began to question their earlier assumptions. Why did these fragile beings stand firm against something so unknown? The alien scanned human brain activity. Fear was present strongly, but it did not control them. Humans acknowledged fear, then acted anyway. This behavior was rare. More shadows appeared in the valley. The number increased. The aliens' calculations now showed near-certain failure if the humans faced this alone. The alien considered intervention. Protocol said no, but curiosity pushed back. The humans adjusted their formation. They spread out, creating overlapping light zones. The alien noticed that humans covered each other's weak points naturally without needing constant instruction. This was not trained instinct alone. It was trust. One shadow pressed too close, causing part of the barrier to flicker. A human stumbled backward. Another human immediately stepped in, steadying them. No words were spoken. The alien felt something unfamiliar. Respect. The shadows did not fully attack. Instead, they circled the outpost, testing defenses, watching. The alien sensed intelligence, not like human intelligence, but awareness. A long, tense hour passed. Then, suddenly, the shadows retreated. They slid back into the valley, melting into darkness as if they had never been there. The ground stopped shaking. The sky darkened fully, stars appearing above. The humans did not celebrate. They stayed alert. The alien watched as humans slowly lowered their weapons but not their guard. They spoke quietly, reviewing what they had seen. They shared observations. They learned together. The alien analyzed the data again. Humans had survived the first contact. Not because they were stronger, not because they were more advanced, but because they adapted faster than expected. The alien had come to observe a failing species. Instead, they saw the first signs of something else. As night settled over the planet, the alien observer remained in orbit, watching the small lights of the human outpost glowing against the dark world. The shadows were still there, deep below the surface, and the humans were still standing. The alien realized this mission would not be simple. This was not a study of weakness. This was the beginning of understanding something dangerous and extraordinary about humanity. And somewhere deep within the planet, something else was watching too. Waiting, the sky over the frontier planet had turned a deep, bruised purple, streaked with the light of distant suns. The air shimmered with tension, as if the planet itself sensed the arrival of something unnatural. From the rocky cliffs above, the alien observer watched the humans below. They were preparing for a battle the observer could barely comprehend. Despite their primitive-looking tools and armor, the humans moved with purpose and focus. The alien had come with a sense of superiority. Their species, technology, was far beyond anything these humans possessed. Weapons could erase whole fields in a single strike. Shields could withstand impacts that would flatten mountains. And yet, as the alien studied the humans, they could not shake the growing curiosity. There was something different in the way these humans faced danger. It was not fearlessness. They were not reckless, but an inner spark of determination that no sensor could measure. The first sign of trouble came silently. The ground trembled, sending loose stones rolling down the cliffs. At first, the humans thought it was an earthquake, and a few stepped back, their expressions tense. Then, in the shadows of the valley, figures began to emerge. They were enormous, dark, shifting shapes that seemed to absorb the dim light rather than reflect it. The alien sensors struggled to track them. They had never seen a life form like this, massive, almost intangible, yet undeniably alive. The humans noticed too, but their reaction was very different from the aliens' expectation. Instead of running or panicking, they quickly moved into formation. One human raised a small device, and a shimmering field appeared around the group. It wasn't as strong as the aliens' shields, but it pulsed with determination. It was a small barrier, yes, but it symbolized something far more powerful: unity. Then the shadow creatures struck. The alien had thought this would be easy. Their weapons could blast the creatures apart in moments. But the humans were not trying to fight alone. They were working together, anticipating the creatures' moves, improvising in ways the alien could not predict. One human, a young soldier with a determined glare, led a small squad into the open to distract one of the massive shadows. The alien watched, expecting foolishness, yet the humans' movements were clever. They used the rocky terrain to guide the creature, setting small traps along the way. Some devices lit up the ground, creating illusions that confused the monster. Others emitted high-frequency sounds that made it hesitate, giving the humans time to reposition. The alien felt something unexpected: admiration. The humans were using creativity, teamwork, and courage in ways that the alien species considered inefficient. Each human was small, fragile, and vulnerable, yet together, they formed a force that challenged the impossible. In the middle of the chaos, a young human tripped on a rock and fell, leaving them exposed. The alien reacted instinctively, using their advanced energy weapon to shield the human. It was the first time the alien had physically intervened in a human battle. The human looked up, wide-eyed, and the alien realized something else. They were not frightened in the way the alien expected. The human nodded briefly, as if silently thanking the alien, and then continued to fight, moving with renewed confidence. The alien tried to blend their tactics with the humans. Their species relied on strict strategy and precision, but the humans' method was fluid and adaptive. They would retreat, then advance, luring the shadows into carefully prepared positions. Explosions and flashes of light filled the valley, yet there was no sense of panic. Each human was focused, watching not only the creatures but each other, guiding their companions, protecting the weak, and never losing hope. At one point, the alien realized a shadow had surrounded a small group of humans, including the one they had just saved. The alien moved quickly, firing an energy net to block the creature. But the humans themselves acted in unison. One pulled a device from their belt and activated it, creating a temporary light that seemed to frighten the shadow. Another human used a rope to pull their fallen comrade to safety. The alien realized with a shock, the human strength was not in their weapons, it was in their willingness to act for each other. As the battle continued, the alien's admiration grew into understanding. Humans were not simply unpredictable, they were resilient. They found solutions in moments of despair that no simulation could predict. Their courage was not blind, but practical, guided by instinct, experience, and a deep sense of loyalty to one another. The alien began to communicate with the humans. At first, it was gestures and signals. The humans responded almost instantly, recognizing the alien as an ally. One soldier, perhaps the leader of the squad, gestured for the alien to follow. Together, they devised a plan to channel the shadows into a narrow canyon, where their movements would be limited. The alien provided support, using their technology sparingly, letting the humans lead the strategy. The plan worked, though not without risk. The shadows were enormous and terrifying. each movement causing the ground to shake and debris to fly. Yet the humans remained calm. They adjusted on the fly, pulling each other back when needed, and using small devices to trip and confuse the creatures. The alien found themselves learning from the humans instead of the other way around. At one point, the alien noticed a human struggling to hold a heavy barricade in place while the shadow lunged toward it. Without thinking, the alien rushed forward, using their strength to stabilize the barrier. The human looked up in surprise and managed a small, grateful smile before continuing the fight. It was a simple moment, but it captured the essence of what the alien had come to understand. Humans were extraordinary not because they were the strongest, but because they refused to give up. Hours seemed to pass like minutes. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows over the battlefield. Yet the humans kept fighting, never yielding to fear. The alien had expected chaos, perhaps even failure. Instead, they witnessed coordination, courage, and an unbreakable will. Every time a shadow creature moved to strike, the humans found a way to counter it. Sometimes they improvised, sometimes they relied on pre-planned strategies, but always they acted together. By the time the alien and the humans finally managed to push the shadows back into the depths of the canyon, exhaustion weighed on everyone. Breathing heavily, covered in dust and grime, the humans celebrated quietly, exchanging nods and brief smiles. There was no boasting, no arrogance, only relief and mutual respect. The alien stood among them feeling something unfamiliar, pride, not for themselves but for the humans. They had expected weakness and chaos, but what they found was something far stronger: resilience, intelligence, and courage in the face of unimaginable danger. As the shadows receded, the alien looked at the young soldier who had first led the squad. The soldier's eyes were bright, determined, and yet tired. They nodded at the alien, acknowledging their shared effort. In that moment, the alien realized something profound. Humans were not just survivors, they were fighters in the truest sense of the word. And fighting alongside them had changed the alien forever. The night settled over the battlefield, quiet except for the distant rumble of the canyon. The alien, exhausted yet exhilarated, knew this was only the beginning. Whatever terror awaited them in the future, they now understood one thing: humans would never be defeated by fear alone. And as the alien watched the humans regroup, share water, and tend to minor injuries, a thought lingered in their mind. The true strength of a species was not measured in weapons or technology, but in the courage to stand together when the world seemed darkest. The alien had come to study humans. Instead, they had discovered something far greater: the heart of humanity. The first light of dawn crept across the jagged horizon, painting the battlefield in shades of pink and gold. The alien observer stood among the humans, exhausted but alert. The shadow creatures had been pushed back, but they were not gone. Their presence lingered like a dark cloud, a constant reminder that this was far from over. The humans moved with quiet efficiency, tending to each other and their small, makeshift equipment. Despite the exhaustion, there was no panic. Every glance, every gesture, every whispered word carried meaning. The alien watched in awe. These beings, so fragile in appearance, had endured a terror that would have shattered countless other species. And yet they stood tall, calm, and ready. A low rumble shook the ground. The alien's sensors flared, detecting movement deep within the canyon. The shadows were returning, but this time there was something different. They moved faster, their forms more defined, more solid, more threatening. The alien felt a chill. These were not the same creatures they had faced yesterday. They had evolved or perhaps adapted. The humans noticed too. One of the older soldiers pointed toward the canyon with a grim expression. "They're coming back, bigger, smarter," he said. His voice was steady, calm, but it carried a weight of understanding. The alien stepped forward, eager to contribute but uncertain how. Their technology could blast these creatures apart, but the humans did not want sheer destruction. They wanted strategy. They had survived not through power alone, but through courage, ingenuity, and unity. The alien realized that any interference without cooperation might upset the delicate balance. A young woman soldier approached the alien, her eyes sharp and clear. "We need your help," she said, "but follow our lead. We fight together, not apart." The alien nodded. This was the moment they had been waiting for, not just to study humans, but to truly fight alongside them. The humans formed a plan. They would lead the shadow creatures into a narrow gorge where movement was restricted. Traps were prepared, energy nets, light-emitting devices, and sound emitters, all designed to confuse and slow the creatures. The alien contributed by analyzing the shadows' movement patterns, suggesting where the humans could place their devices most effectively. The battle began with a tense silence. The first shadow emerged, massive and terrifying, its form twisting unnaturally as it moved. The humans did not hesitate. They activated their traps in sequence, guiding the creature with careful precision. The alien watched, impressed once again by their coordination. One shadow slipped past the first set of devices, moving with terrifying speed toward a group of humans. The alien reacted instantly, creating a temporary energy barrier to slow it down. But the humans themselves were ready. One of them threw a device that emitted blinding light, forcing the shadow to stop and recoil. Another human fired a tether that wrapped around the creature, holding it in place long enough for others to push it into the gorge. The alien marveled at the humans' instinctive teamwork. Every action was calculated, every movement accounted for. Even in the face of pure terror, they remained calm, adaptive, and supportive of each other. More shadows appeared, emerging from the canyon walls like dark storms. The humans did not scatter. They moved in synchronized patterns, each squad complementing the other. They improvised when necessary, adjusting their tactics based on the creature's unpredictable movements. One soldier noticed a weak point in a shadow's energy flow and signaled to the rest. The alien assisted by projecting a beam to distract the creature, but it was the humans who coordinated the attack, exploiting the weakness with remarkable precision. Hours passed, and the alien began to understand the full extent of human resilience. These beings were small, fragile, and vulnerable by every biological standard, yet their courage, adaptability, and determination made them a force that could stand against impossible odds. Each human instinctively protected the others, sharing the burden of fear and responsibility. During a critical moment, one of the shadow creatures managed to reach the edge of the gorge, threatening to crush the human squad. The alien acted instinctively, using their full strength to push a massive boulder into the path of the creature. But it was the humans who saved the moment. The young woman soldier activated a device that created a vibrating field, causing the shadow to lose balance and retreat. The alien realized something profound. Human ingenuity, paired with courage, could achieve what sheer power alone could not. The battle raged on, shadows twisting and moving in terrifying ways, but the humans never faltered. They adapted, improvised, and worked together seamlessly. The alien fought alongside them, lending support where necessary but always allowing the humans to lead. In a moment of quiet, between waves of attacks, the alien observed a small group of humans helping each other recover. One soldier offered water to another, while another checked for injuries. There was no room for arrogance or pride, only care, empathy, and the determination to survive together. The alien was struck by the realization that this was the true strength of humanity. As night fell, the final wave of shadow creatures approached. The humans, exhausted but unyielding, prepared for the ultimate confrontation. They had learned the creatures' patterns, anticipated their movements, and refined their strategies. The alien felt a mixture of fear and awe. This would be the defining moment. The first creature charged, but the humans were ready. They guided it into the gorge, activating every device, every trap, and every improvisation they had prepared. The alien contributed where needed, but it was the humans' coordination, creativity, and courage that ultimately held the shadow at bay. One shadow broke through a barrier, moving toward a human squad. The alien reacted instinctively, grabbing the creature with their energy tools, but the humans acted quickly. They coordinated a series of tethers, pulsing lights, and sound fields that disoriented the creature. In a breathtaking moment, a young soldier leaped forward, using a precise device to exploit the shadow's weak point. The creature staggered, recoiled, and then collapsed into the gorge. The remaining shadows, seeing their companion fall, hesitated. The humans seized the moment, pushing them back into the canyon and sealing the gorge with heavy debris. For the first time, silence fell over the battlefield. The shadows were defeated, or at least held at bay, and the humans stood victorious. Exhausted and battered, the humans gathered together. There were no cheers, no celebration, only quiet relief, understanding glances, and small smiles. The alien stood among them, feeling a deep, unspoken bond. These beings, so fragile by every measure, had faced true terror and had survived not through brute strength, but through courage, ingenuity, and unity. The alien sensors recorded data, but the information felt incomplete. They realized that no measurement could capture the essence of human resilience. It was not in their weapons, their speed, or their reflexes. It was in their hearts, their minds, and their willingness to stand together against impossible odds. The young woman soldier approached the alien. "You see it now, don't you?" she asked. "We survive because we refuse to give up, because we protect each other, and because we find solutions when hope seems lost." The alien nodded. "I understand," they said. "Your strength, it cannot be measured. It is something greater than technology or power. It is the human spirit." For the first time, the alien felt a profound respect and humility. They had come to study humanity, expecting weakness. Instead, they had found something extraordinary, something that no simulation, no technology, no analysis could predict. As the humans began to rebuild their small camp, the alien looked toward the horizon. The shadow creatures might return, or perhaps other dangers awaited. But the alien no longer doubted that humanity could face them. They had seen the courage, the ingenuity, and the unity of these beings. They had witnessed humans confront true terror and survive. The alien realized that this battle, though terrifying and exhausting, had revealed something vital. Humanity's strength was not measured by individual might or sophisticated weapons, but by the willingness to fight together, to protect each other, and to endure when all seems lost. And in that moment, standing among the humans under the first stars of night, the alien understood the truth they had come to witness. Humanity, fragile yet unyielding, was capable of facing horrors beyond imagination and surviving with courage, honor, and hope. The alien had fought alongside humans. They had seen terror in its purest form, and they had learned that no darkness, no monster, and no impossible threat could break the spirit of a united humanity. As the night deepened, the alien and the human sat quietly, watching the stars and sharing a rare moment of peace. The battle was over for now, but the alien knew that the bond forged in fire, courage, and mutual respect would last far longer than any single encounter. Humanity had proven itself worthy, not just to survive, but to inspire awe in even the most advanced beings of the galaxy. And for the alien, that lesson would never be forgotten.